Today we're going to be looking at 3 different ways to mentally approach this quarantine situation. Sit, relax, and let's get started. Yo, what's the crack? My happy face pullers, your host T-Talks, back again with another video in these crazy times we live in. Quarantine. Gyms all across the world have closed, and this disease has forced many people to train at home. Entire training programs out of the window. Today I would like to make you aware of 3 different mindsets when it comes to strength training in particular and fitness in general. Hopefully this video will help you navigate the treacherous waters of this confinement. All over social media I see many people ramping up their training volume like crazy on bodyweight exercises. Push-ups, squats, pull-ups, burpees, lunges are being done more than ever before in the history of mankind. Please don't get me wrong on this. I'm a huge proponent of basic calisthenic movements to build a solid foundation. In fact, maxing out on these could be a great tool to introduce sufficient overload and stimulus, as well as to improve on your muscular endurance and cardiovascular capacity. However, having to do 40, 50, 60 plus repetitions to get close to concentric failure is not very time efficient, especially if you're an advanced trainee. You might have to complete many of these giant sets to achieve the adaptations you are looking for because you're effectively working within a very low intensity range relative to your 1 repetition max. Not to mention that this style of training could be counterproductive to your specific goals from a fatigue to a stimulus ratio perspective. If you've never done this enormous amount of volume before, plus reaching failure in every single set, you might not be able to train certain muscle groups for days due to acute muscle soreness. So, if your goal is to keep working out within similar intensity levels than those of the training program you were following prior to this quarantine, you shouldn't be chasing exorbitant rep numbers, but rather find harder progressions of bodyweight exercises. Much harder. And although there are some exceptions to this, you could pretty much jack up the intensity in all bodyweight exercises to extremely high levels, especially those that target the upper body. So, if you're someone who would like to continue working within a specific intensity level during this lockdown, you should focus on harder progressions of a bodyweight exercise that most closely matches the movement pattern you want to train. Take this opportunity to dig deeper into calisthenics as a training discipline that can make your home routines as difficult as what you were previously doing in the gym. Another important aspect is your training protocol. If you were following a well thought out plan in the gym to further specific goals, I don't see what you would want to move towards a different direction. You could still put together an 8 to 12 week mesocycle based on progressive overload where you keep tracking your progress on a weekly basis. Instead of adding plates to a barbell, you just need to alter leverages to increase the percentage of your body weight as the load in a given exercise. And of course, you can still use other more traditional methods to make sure that you keep making your sessions harder over time. This playlist right here shows you harder progressions on calisthenic staples like pull-ups, push-ups, rows, dips, squats, as well as core-specific exercises. If you're someone looking for a bigger challenge in your training, make sure to check it out after this video. The other way to look at this situation is the complete opposite of what I just said. Perhaps you are a very specialized athlete and your training style has been very skewed to a particular fitness capacity, and now you want to take this break to tackle specific weak areas. I commend you for that. For example, let's say that you're someone whose new goal for the duration of this quarantine is to improve on your metabolic conditioning, muscular endurance, and cardiovascular capacity. Then, it would make sense for you to do long sets with large numbers of repetitions. Working at lower intensities for longer periods will make sure that your body gets better at utilizing and mobilizing oxygen. Not only will a better general physical preparedness make you healthier overall, but it will also improve your ability to recover from session to session. Regardless of your specific sport, it's always smart to include aerobic work in your program, if only because the more conditioned you are, the more regularly you can train. In my particular case, I'm taking this quarantine as an opportunity to work on personal weaknesses of mine. Back in the days I broke my fibula playing soccer, so my right leg has always lacked the left one, both in strength, size, and mobility. Big exercises like deadlifts or barbell squats usually mask this imbalance. But now that this type of equipment is out of the way, I'm going to use this forced confinement to do more unilateral work for my weaker leg. Another example, some female subscribers have reached out to me in the past telling me about their lack of upper body strength. Well, this quarantine is a great time to practice regressions of push-ups, inverted rows, negative pull-ups, or isometric pikes. I'm gonna go on a limb here and speculate that the main reason why you didn't include any of these movements in your regular routine in the gym were, first, these exercises I just mentioned are really hard, but that's why they are so effective. And two, you fear that other people might think less of you in the gym if you display weakness while performing these exercises. Well, there's no gym now and no one is looking at you, so what's your excuse now? I also made a video on this topic a while ago where I talk about the exercises that recruit the most amount of muscle mass in your upper body. Make sure to check that video out and you'll see a banner popping somewhere up here. You can click on that or I'll leave a link in the description section down below. To sum it all up, if you're aware of any shortcomings in your game, this quarantine represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work on those. Don't miss it. This quarantine is also going to expose whether your relationship with training is balanced and healthy. Look, I'm the first one to admit that I'm missing many exercises. But hey, I understand the gravity of the situation, so I already came to terms with the prospect of not doing any heavy-ass lifting for the next few months, and I'm okay with it. If you're too emotionally attached to a specific exercise or exercises, and all you can think of is what you can do instead of looking at the things you can actually do, perhaps you are a little bit too much invested into a specific training style. You see, many people build their entire personality around sport, and when they can no longer practice it, they feel depressed and lose all motivation. And I don't want that to happen to you. If this is you, listen to this good old chap right here. It's not the strongest that survives. Charlie doesn't give two craps about how much you bench. It's not the most intelligent that survives. Charlie isn't even impressed about how geeky you are on your stuff either. It is the one that is most adaptable to change that survives. In other words, adapt to the new reality and move forward. By the way, I also posted a video just a few days ago on easy to implement habits to lessen the mental as well as the health impact a confinement like this can have on us. I honestly think this video could help many people get through these tough times. There are so many alternatives or inexpensive tools like a pull-up bar or resistance bands you can use to help you through this period. It's not time to wallow in your sorrow, but to see this event as a wake-up call to reinvent yourself. Learn new skills, be creative. And hang in there, mate, this will be over in just a couple of weeks. Alright, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. If you made it all the way through to the end, you are my best friend already. Did you like this video? If so, what are you waiting for? Give me a thumbs up to help me spread the word and also help this channel with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already and let me know what your biggest challenge has been so far. Adaptation? Motivation? Toilet paper? I'll see you around, guys and girls. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay home, stay strong. Yeah!